Got it. Raudona šviesytė užsidegs, kai live būsim.
Jau dega.
Okay, it's still, okay, done. It's there. Super, Algirdai. Lovely meeting you again, just after the session, which we had an hour ago. So I'll start our live interview actually with a quote, which is on the picture, which is hanging here. In that picture, back in 2004, I was drawing a lighthouse when I read the book from Stephen Covey, The 8 Habits. There is two books, 7 Habits and 8 Habits.
Okay.
And in that book of 8 Habits, there was this quote saying that a leader is a constant, dependable light of source as the lighthouse. In a way, it is just standing still and being not desperate, but truly, kind of aligned with its truthiness. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I do see you very much aligned with yourself. And you are, for me, this ideal client who isn't fake at all, with whom, with whom I can be truly myself, like literally, and not even have, a thoughts or doubts that, can I say this to you, or can I bring this solution? So here he is, Algirdas Valancius, the CEO of Groward Group. So welcome, Algirdas, to our little talk.
Thanks for the invitation.
And let's start maybe from introducing more who you are today and what Groward Group does, and what is the context around the entire, let's say, industry as such.
Okay, to start from introducing myself, my name is Algirdas Valancius. I am CEO of Groward Group, and Groward Group is one of the leading, biggest agricultural companies in Lithuania. We deal with two things. That's eggs. We have farms, we do produce eggs, we have layers. Plus we have the factory which produces egg products. Next to it, we have cropping. We have fields, many hectares, 1,000 hectares. We do seed, plow, etc., etc. But that goes for our hands. But mainly that's egg business representative, which is called Groward Group in Lithuania. So I am the CEO of this company.
Okay, and you and I, we met, I believe, somewhere in 2000, maybe 15 or 16, in another industry, which was the aviation industry. And back then, you were the SFO, right, for this big as well company, and now you are the CEO. So I kind of thought, would you mind us taking through actually your transformation from being SFO to now becoming the CEO? Because I will never have another person like you who had been on that journey, and I think that it would be very powerful for the listeners to hear like how your life and your as well maybe personal development thoughts and potential change from being SFO to CEO.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that is quite traditional in my case. Some books say that is quite traditional from CFO to go up to CEO, but actually, Laura, before the last initial our meeting in aviation industry, I was CEO in agricultural company. So that one was 10 years ago. I became as CEO after my CFO experience. And I should say that this roadmap from CFO to CEO, it was quite traditional. And it was long. It was, in my world, it's quite okay backgrounded. It's 10 plus years. We talk about the journey. It's not like just jumped one day, from one chair to another chair. I had been involved in many things while being CFO. in various industries which are not related to CFO activity only. So I was in board member, etc. Then had some big experience in implementing some ERP system, which is not much to talk about CFO. So I would say quite traditional long-term roadmap in my case. But actually I should admit that it is only the one who had this shift from CFO to CEO will understand that it's not much this experience when we talk about CFO. You just understand when you become CEO that this life is completely different. And this is just, you can't just experience it.
No. So how is that different? Okay. How is that different?
World, you know, those CFO people, they like to control. They are just so well technically prepared. They like to forecast. They have another approach or some approach to risk management. You somehow believe in what you see, what you control, and you want this, you know?
Yes.
And when you just become CEO, suddenly you understand that you have simply different environment. You have to trust much more in your colleagues because you have no choice.
No.
Plus, you know, there are so-called, they might call third party, which is not under your control at all. And it is the main two differences, I think, when you talk about the shift from CFO to CEO.
Yeah, I see.
You know, I meet in my daily life many CFOs which are, you know, they want more, but they don't.
Like within their ambition,
like I am
right?
ready. Yeah, like, you know, they do talk very, very reasonable, but still they don't make this change.
Okay. Yeah, you can want as many things as you want, but you will need to make a decision at some time in your life. But what I really enjoyed that I truly take that distinction that SFO is a very heavy, you know, analytical, linear, mechanical thinking engineer mindsets, and everything needs to be predictable, placed, you know, in the structures, and as you say, but being the CEO, the trust, right? That's what I kind of take from your answer, that you have to make the decision to trust your team and understand that some of the things they can fold out actually without the planning, right? And it's probably normal in a living organization as such. So what triggered Algirdas you to work with us when there are so many consultancies around, and it can be truly difficult to distinguish and decide, like, whom should we choose or not? Why us? And what was the solution you were looking for as this new CEO in the Groward group?
You know, Laura, I did know you before, so I was not looking for I was not making any competition, etc. I think I still believe I had quite clear understanding, goal, vision, whatever how you call what I wanted to achieve. And I had positive experience from my aviation industry. I don't think that everything was going perfect in that in this period, but still I got positive experience, and somehow I was not looking for the consultants. I've just decided that it should be perfect match.
I was a lucky one. No, I truly believe in that clients are coming from word of mouth method. That's the best luxury marketing, without doing any marketing. All right, but now let's talk about the entire, let's say, change you were making with your team, guided by us. We call it the holistic business discipline. But if you could describe like what literally we were doing together, and what kind of maybe both, the visible and not visible change as behavior, mindset, certain routines you see today, which kind of, gives you energy, gives you belief that it's possible, with this strong and stronger and stronger team to conquer all the audacious dreams. So could you share with us?
Okay. Laura, I believe, I'm sure I'm not the best one to, in general, to explain what does it mean, this holistic stuff.
That's okay. I'll help you.
So but I'm sure that I know what I want, from this company. So the main idea was just kind of, it is quite complex environment I met here.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. To be honest, from all perspectives. I mean, from daily management up to strategical vision. So it is tough, still tough. I mean, I just wanted to have an environment that different people, different level people, they somehow communicate and meet, discuss same language. They look at something and at some figures. They do know where they are. They do know what they want to achieve, and that somehow, they think that it's not a tragedy in general, that is not a survival, but just normal standard environment. Then you have to survive in this daily life, which is changing in such a speed that you simply, that is normal, that you have to act now. That is what I wanted to make in this company.
Okay.
It's simple.
And I love your, if I can add, I love you being simple, and I love as well, as I mentioned in the beginning, that you are just you in your full potential. And I'm sure that we as people, in any kind of even setting, like family, corporation, I don't know, company, I truly believe as above as below, we are mirroring each other. So when you are so true to yourself and you allow yourself, because I'm observing your meetings and actually facilitating some of the meetings with your leadership team, and when you are just brave enough, to be yourself and tell loudly or question loudly certain facts without any blame, or like literally like without any kind of judgment, that encourages people at all the levels of organization to do the same. And I believe that encourages as well people to feel braver and braver, and kind of, stand out for what they see and tell that loudly, so they can make decisions together. So okay.
Thank you, Laura. I can make a joke here. I simply have no time for long.
I know.
Version. And it does help, to be honest. On the other hand, there is no need to create some barriers inside your why. What for? So,
no, and it is so simple, at the end when you look at it.
Laura, to be honest, in my world, it is simple when it is simple, but in my understanding, just you have to be ready internal. I mean, you have to be ready, and that's it. Not much to add.
Okay, so I know that together, which I truly appreciate working with you, it is that every Monday we have those kind of reflection sessions where we meet and we just look at how we want, where we see our extended vision, what we have today, what are the obstacles, and we kind of always like adapting our plan and that gives me the possibility to be way more creative when I need to find the solution, rather than if I needed to give you, I don't know, this rigid project management plan saying this week we'll do this, another week we do that, so I know that we were coming up with some really good kind of authentic solutions. And could you share which of those you felt that you truly liked and it gave you value And maybe they were very simple ones, but you truly saw the value in them.
To be honest, didn't think from this perspective. Yeah, let me think a bit. General idea is that, to be honest, I never had a goal. I mean, a plan to get something specific from you, Laura, your colleague. Never had this, and that it is not what I was expecting. That's not the reason I was hiring you as experts. So I've still probably would repeat that the very idea, the very concept of the management environment which I want to implement, and that was the main idea. And this, in general, support to implement it is the main thing, which I probably would like to mention. You know, I believe we did lots of those small things, good things, but probably I have to mention that this helped me, the first thing, to faster to get this relationship with my team members. You know, and you cannot describe that in 2 words. I mean, generally, that it just took much quicker in time. That's probably to mention. And then actually I should mention probably that we are living in this pandemic environment now, and it is a bit tough. I mean, and I was thinking at the very beginning how to create this
atmosphere, right?
Atmosphere, management environment when you cannot meet people. And I should announce that you had those teams template prepared. I was positively surprised. Thank you. But on the other hand, I have to admit that it takes longer when you are.
Yeah, it takes longer, definitely.
You are in this pandemic.
Yeah, because we can all hide behind our kind of, PCs and do this and that. Yeah. But okay.
So maybe not enough specific, Laura, but
No, that's okay. That's okay. We know what we were doing. There are every time of a company, they kind of, suffer from too many meetings, or the meetings which are draining from energy, the meetings where they don't feel connection, to certain team members, not talking the same language, not understanding the purpose, and blah, blah, blah. And like together what we've done and what is the holistic business discipline, it is, yes, I mean, it is about the meeting structure where we have the people working together on interactions, involving clients, involving suppliers, listening to the client voice or customer voice, whatever we can call them. Could you maybe share from your experience, what are those meetings which you are having on a daily basis with your CSU team, and what do you like about them? And maybe, kind of share how was it before and how it is now. So it's gonna be more clear for listeners.
Okay. I've started from my past experience in another industry. I do remember that it took for me good half a year that I've started to acknowledge that it's very good, those meetings we used to have. I mean, at the very beginning, I thought, just waste of time. Talk too much, or we talk not enough, this financial too broad, blah, blah, blah. But after good half an hour, maybe after 1 year, half a year, sorry, and, sometimes you miss one and you just miss something. That something is not good enough. So those meetings which we have today, in my world, they still need this good half a year. I mean, my colleagues, especially because we're living in this pandemic environment, and it is Teams meeting, would be much better than if we have this live meetings. Where we could meet, shake the hands, blah, blah, blah. So, but in general, I am sure that colleagues now feel more as a team now. They do, how to say, feel themselves as the ones who influence the results of the company. I believe they even themselves talk more.
Oh yeah.
It is just like, in our case, it's a little bit from black to white, so it's very, very visible, this change. That's how I think. That's what I hear from people. So, but it's a start. We need some
to continue strengthening
there. Period addition.
And congratulations with the result. You are together co-creating with your people. It's just to me, to be a part of that and see, guys, you grow. I grow myself, so it gives a lots of purpose and energy. The last question, which I have, Algirdas, is actually, how do you see, because there are different types of companies, right? Like large SMEs and small types of companies. And I've been having a long discussion with myself, maybe for 10 last years, that why when a company is growing, it faces this growth paradox, and when it faces the growth which they were not ready to accept, or they didn't have the muscles to carry that growth, they would be placing wrong tools as vertical organizational charts, wrong KPIs, and all these control mechanisms from top, which are not about the value creation, and they are not about the supporting the growth. So my question is to you, because you've been as well an SFO, like how would you see, at what period on a company kind of cycle or life cycle, the CEO or the business owner should make the decision to start strengthening those muscles holistically and become ready for this exponential growth, or just a growth? When would that be a perfect time, so it would be way more faster for them, rather than a year or several years of this 9-level transformation?
Well, I would say that what you need to be ready. I mean, when as a manager, and how do you say, as early as possible, of course, is better, but probably this manager has to go a little bit traditional way too, to understand what kind of change he wanted to have. The only idea is that this road on the traditional way should be as short as possible.
Yes.
So I don't believe that someone like very, very fresh and inexperienced suddenly say, okay, I need this and this. What? You have no idea what you need, because you simply don't have experience to understand what you need. So you have to be ready, and it's probably learning from mistakes too. So and it's very, very different. Depends person.
Yeah,
that's one thing probably. Another one, I would say that you have to have relevant complexity, which drives for sure to seek some solutions, some mechanisms how to live in this complex environment. So probably that's also must like push, which will push you to choose some different managerial style. I don't think it's in that kind of turnover. I don't think so. I mean,
no.
Just the right moment when you believe that you know what you want to achieve in this business environment, and there is a need of it.
Yeah, so there's both the desire and actually a need. I agree with you completely. All right. Well, I truly enjoyed our interview, and I still have the last the last statement, maybe not even a question, that I truly wish with my team to Groward Group kind of make this perfect strategy for exploiting the bottleneck in the sales, so you can guys go to United States, go to Qatar, go to Japan, and be number one supply in those countries, and truly be proud of being that egg production company. And you are way more than that. It's just one of the businesses, but that's what my kind of wishes for you in 2022, 2023, and I'll be there to support you and encourage as much as I can, and be a part of that journey. So so good luck with that, Algirdas, and yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Laura. Maybe just a few words to mention that. Thank you for your support. I mean, we do feel, and that's like a message for everyone. We learn every day. I mean, I learn from your participation in our daily life. So thank you for this. And wish you also successful year.
Thank you. Super.